everybody. Good evening. How's everybody doing? I hope that you're feeling well. I hope that you're well. Welcome to the Better Podcast with yours truly, DMP Speaks. I'm so glad that I'm spending time with you all on tonight. Listen. If you don't know who I am, this is your first time. Let me introduce myself properly. My name is David M. Pinkston, but I go by the name of DMP Speaks. I'm a speaker. I am a board certified Christian counselor, and I'm also a family restoration specialist, family coach, if you want to call me. I come to rebuild your family dynamic. I do my podcasts every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm so delighted. I'm so grateful that you want to spend time with me on tonight. So the topic for tonight is, and if you care to share, please share. The topic for tonight is open door policy. Let me repeat. The topic for tonight is open door policy. Share this with somebody. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family, because I want you to remember when you leave this podcast, I want you to be better than when you came on this podcast. So let's get into today's topic, open door policy. Now, when we think about when we talk to our children, when we talk to our grandchildren, we don't realize that they're growing right in front of us. They're getting taller, they're getting bigger, but not only is their physicality growing, right, and their stature, but they're growing mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. They got questions, they got concerns. You're going through it now, right? You don't want to admit it, but you're going through it right now. You are at a place with your teen, your grandchild, that they are inquisitive. They have questions. Your kids have questions. And we have to supply, them with the right answers. See, they can get answers from many different sources. We got the TikToks of the world. We got the Snapchats of the world. And I have no Snapchat because I have no idea how to really use it. And I'm going to have to figure out how to use it so I can keep up. We got the Facebooks. We got the Instagrams. We got all that's out there. We probably some other apps. I have no idea. You might not have no idea because I don't know, right? But your kids got questions. They got questions. But we want to supply them again with not just answers. We want to supply them with the right answer. That's important. We must supply them with the information that they need so they don't go to somewhere else and get the wrong answer. We want to be a reliable source that they can trust. Let me repeat. We want to be able to be a reliable source that they can trust. And this is why I titled this session tonight, Open Door Policy, because we have to have an open door policy for our family. Now, you might say, maybe you never heard of this phrase, open door policy. So let me define it in my own way. This is not the dictionary way. This is just me coming up with this particular thought for myself to you. Open door policy is that they come to you with a series of questions that they can't figure out on their own, or they have a thought that they have and they can't get the information from somewhere, and it's not a topic that you might have already talked about. It could be something brand new. It could be about relationships. It could be about school, but it could be about a particular class. It could be a particular thing that they might be dealing with socially, right? Or they've seen something on social media and they got questions. So you are here to give them the best possible answer that you can give them. That's that open door policy. See, when we have and we create this, because I talked about this in my live earlier on yesterday, how we have to have this atmosphere to produce great things, right? We have to produce an atmosphere for open door policy. We have to let them know you can come in and talk to me. You can have a conversation with me. I know I'm your parent. I know I'm your guardian, but I want you to be able to brain dump. Let me repeat, to brain dump. Because when they are able to brain dump, the thoughts and emotions that they have inside of them will not lay dormant any longer. They have an opportunity to freely let those that serotonin out. They'll be able to let what's going on inside their brain, inside their heart, inside their mind, inside their spirit to come out, to brain them. We have to be able to create that open door policy and not judge them. Give them what they need. Chastise what you have to say, chastise them, but also allow them to know that even though you said this and this is what you are questioning, but I'm not going to push you away. And a lot of opportunities for children to be able to brain dump or have the open door policy, they don't have. A lot of kids don't have that opportunity because the parent or guardian has not created that in the house. So what happens? Well, I'm gonna tell you what happens. A lot of times when they want to say something, and because they're so afraid what you're going to say, they go to somebody else and they go to the wrong person and they get wrong advice. They get some advice. Oh yeah, they get some advice, but it may not be the advice that they need at that particular time. Does that make sense? So because of that, we have to have this open door policy for them to come in and talk. And if you have to correct, but they should be able to come to you about anything, even if you can't show your expression. You might be feeling inside like, oh my God, why are they coming with me? I'm not ready. Well, I guess you're gonna have to get ready. Because they're coming with the questions, baby. They're coming with it all. They're coming because they need you to give them what they need. Imagine you being the team, being overwhelmed, and they're coming to you, or you're coming to your parent at that particular time, and you just feeling overwhelmed, but you know you might be scared to talk, but you know if I talk to mom, if I talk to grandma, if I talk to dad, everything is going to be okay. And a lot of times our kids, our teens are feeling just like that. And they need an outlet, not just with their friends, but they need that outlet with you. They need that outlet so that they can talk. That's why that open door policy is so important. And I believe there's no subject that can't be talked about. I'm talking about a plethora of ideas. Some of you can probably even tell me there's certain things that your children or your adult children have come to you and it has absolutely blew your mind, but you had to keep the same face on like I got right now. And you got to say, oh, really, honey? In the back of your mind, Lord, have mercy. Well, I didn't even know they were doing that. But you can't do that because they're brain dumping. They're coming to you. It's an open door policy, no judgment, right? And it's hard as a parent, but we got to do it. Because let me throw this at you. They're going to do some things that you are not proud of, that you are embarrassed, you're frustrated, you are peed off. But because they know that they can come to you, oh my God, that's the best feeling in the world, that I can come to my parent, my grandmother, and even though they're going to be upset, I know I'm going to get the help that I need. Listen, teens are already dealing with so much in school, already dealing with stuff in social life. There's peer pressures galore. You thought you had peer pressures. You thought you had peer pressures when you were young. I thought I had peer pressures when I was younger. Plus, not even compared. And I know it's different generations, right? But I feel like this generation that I see is dealing with more tougher things, unimaginable, tough situations and decisions that they have to make. unfamiliar and different social constructs that they have to be able to deal with and to learn and to. But I say this, if they can't come to you, then who will they go to? Let me say that again. If they can't come to you, then who can they come to? Because if they can't come to you and let, as they say, let their hair down, then they're going to go to somebody else. And they're going to get information that's not going to be helpful, but detrimental to not just their present time, right? But to their future. So I want to pause here. I want to give you some information that I believe that it will be very helpful and vital. Check this out. All right. I hope that information will help you. And if you're ever interested in any of my services, please go to my bio while this is going on. And I want you to click on the link and sign up for your free 30-minute consultation call with yours truly, DNP Speaks. So tonight, again, we're talking about open door policy for your children. And what I was saying is, if they can't come to you for advice, for information, for knowledge, understanding, some wisdom, well, who are they going to go to? They need you. They need you. They need the information that you have. And they got to come to you with any subject. And you got to give them the best possible answer, because that's what they need. Because if they can't listen to you, if they can't gravitate to the words that you're saying, And if you're not allowing that to be a norm in your household, what do you expect for them to do if they only going by their own thought process, right? And I want to give you this fact. I was doing some research to get for this podcast tonight. And what I gathered was, since a lot of these teens' brains, all these teens' brains don't fully develop until 25, their prefrontal cortex, which controls reasoning and motion, right, and self-regulation, right, some teens can be very impulsive. They can be very moody. You got some moody teens. I know I got one, right? So it doesn't allow them to make the best decisions all the time. The planning and the decision making, right? Because it's not fully developed. So that's why you got these teens, they got all these so moody, they don't want to talk, they're all over the place. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that the decision making might not be fully there yet. And because that prefrontal cortex has not been fully developed, they need help on making decisions now, not later. Because if we wait till later for them to develop that it's going to be, I won't say it's going to be too late, but their development is going to be immature, right? They're going to make immature choices. It's not going to be fully developed for them to make the best possible decision. This is why we got to have the open door policy, because it's so important for your child's self development, right? Let me ask you a question. When is the last time, hear me clear, when is the last time that you allowed your kid to come and talk to you about anything? Now, we say that, right? As parents, we say that you could talk to me about anything. My question is, can they? Can they really come and talk to you about anything? Because listen to me, let's be honest. We say that we want them to come to us about anything, but some of us as parents and guardians, sometimes we're not ready for the questions that they do have. Let's be honest, y'all. We gotta be open. We gotta be ready. I ain't talking about we gotta be like, like you're in a boxing match, so you're not in a boxing match with your child, but you gotta be abreast of what's going on. Sometimes you do gotta be a little nosy. I know my wife, she nosy. I'm nosy too, because I want to know, because not because it's just being nosy, it's because I care. We care. The open door policy is vital. And again, it's necessary for the development of their minds, their future, and their survival in this world. Let's be honest, if a lot of children had more open door policies in their home with their parent or guardian, imagine how some of our teens would have turned out, because they would have been able to grow efficiently and with accuracy to make the best possible choice for their life. Can you remember the time when you were younger? Again, that you had to go to your parent about something that you were confused about. And some of us, let's be honest, you didn't have that opportunity because it was their way or the highway. And there was no talking, there was no conversation whatsoever. You either going to listen to what I'm going to say, and I have to say, and if you can't listen, you can go about your business, because this is my house. But is that always the best possible choice? 9 times out of 10, it just wasn't. Remember that time that you had that? Like for me, I could talk about my big sister. I throw up a kiss to heaven. I was always able to go to her about stuff. Even at my in my 20s and even my 30s, I was able to call her up. What do you think about this? And she was so sound-minded. She was so clear about certain things. I was able to go to her. Some of you Never had that. Maybe your child needs that. Maybe they need a big brother, a sister. Maybe they can go to a coach. Maybe they can go to their favorite teacher, right? So that they can be able to help in that development. Maybe they don't want to talk to you all the time. I understand we mama and daddy, right? We might not have the answer all the time, but maybe somebody else can be a support to your child, because it does take a village. Many of us didn't have that when we were growing up. We didn't have that open door policy, but this is something that you can do right now. You can start this, you can create this in your home. This is why we're talking about better. So maybe you weren't doing it at that particular time. Maybe that's something that you never thought about, but maybe this is something that you want to develop for your child, for your child's development, for your relationship with your child to develop even more, to grow it even more efficiently. And I want to leave you with this, and I'm almost done. See, open door policies helps in these areas. It helps with self-regulation of that team, right? To have more self-development for themselves. So they're looking at themselves a different way. They're gonna look at all options, because sometimes kids will just go with one option and that'll be it. But they're looking at themselves and saying, "Man, I got to take a little bit more time to think about this, because this is a big move." But I was able to talk to my dad. I was able to talk to my mom. I was able to talk to my grandparent. I was able to talk to my coach, and I can make the best possible decision right now. And another thing, open door policies helps them make the right and get the right answers for tough questions. Again and again, your child has questions. You got answers for those tough questions, but they'll get the right answers when they have an open door policy. They can come to you about anything. Open door policies gives that support, like I've already stated, that guidance. When confusion arises, confusion happens, but it doesn't have to linger. Confusion happens, but it doesn't have to stay. The clarity is there when the open door policy is there. And it also promotes great, good decision making and great feeling that they'll have, that satisfaction that I got the answer that I'm looking for. I got the support. I got the assistance that I'm looking for. And I'm gonna be honest, if a lot of kids get this open door policy in their home and they have a realistic conversation, that it's not about blaming and calling kids a failure and all that, that's negative talk. A lot of our kids would not be on the streets. A lot of our kids would not be doing crimes and stealing cars, right? They wouldn't have wrong mental behaviors. They wouldn't have these behaviors that pushes them to do the wrong thing. So in my closing of this podcast, I want to say this to you. Some of you are out there that are looking for a change in your family, and you're saying, I want to learn how to do this, but I really, honestly, DMP Speaks, I don't know how to have an open door policy because I wasn't taught that. So it's been hard. I've been trying. I've had a little success, but I want to have more success. And if that's you, let me help you. I want you to go to my bio. I want you to click on the link, and I want you to sign up for your free 30-minute consultation call. Excuse me. And I want to help your family. I want to help you develop a family chart of time. I want to develop a new level of respect and honor and love in your home. I want to give you some tips, not tricks, because we're not in the business of tricking you. We're in the business of helping you. And I want to help your family become the best version that you guys can be. So if that's you, go to my bio, click on the link, and I promise you, I'll do all that I can to help your family become the best version that you can be. Listen, I believe in your family. I believe in you, but you got to have that open door policy, because you'll be surprised for the things that they come to you about, the things that they want to hear, even though it's tough, even though they're nervous, even though they're scared. They know that they can come to you because you got an open door policy. There's no judgment, because you know and they know that you love them. Listen, guys, thank you so much for your time. Catch me next week for another session of the Better Podcast, yours truly, DMP Speaks. I'll see you next week. Take care of yourself, and we're helping one family at a time. Peace.